I'm up on the ladder today, fixing the gutter around the front of the house. We've had some recent rains, and I've been watching this gutter, and it's in pretty bad shape. I got this ladder last weekend when I had the ute ground for all the timber. It's a 5.3 meter extension ladder, so that should be enough for me to get up to the gutters. Funny, you don't think about this when you buy a double-story house, that suddenly getting on the roof is now a massive issue. I've got 3 lengths of this 6 meter stormwater pipe, so more than enough. So I should be able to take care of this all in one day. We've got a barbecue tonight with some friends coming around, so I need to get this all done in the next couple hours. So I'm on the clock. This is the gutter in question. It's one of these sort of, I don't know if it's steel or aluminium gutters. Right up at the top there's something going wrong there, so the water's actually exiting on the outside of the pipe and running down the outside of it all the way down. We then get to this join here which brings it down off the house over the cap onto the post, and this is cracked through. And because of this type of steel, when it cracks, it completely cracks. There's no give in it, so it doesn't bend very well. So what's happened is, with that water running all the way down, it's been hitting the top of this pipe and getting up underneath this fiber cement. And it was only when the guys came around and redid the leveling that I noticed that this is all rotted, and this is where the termites were in at some stage. So water's been coming down, hitting this, going underneath the fiberboard and rotting out this bearer. Now luckily I've got a steel beam going along this bearer attached to this timber one, so the fact that this is rotting is not too much of an issue. But I don't like the idea of the water landing on this concrete post and just running down, because that's obviously, you don't want heaps of water running down into your footings. You want to get it away from the house. So in other news, my ladder's too short. I thought it was long enough, but I'm probably about a meter too short, which is annoying. Anyway, okay, well, I've had a change of heart. I'm not actually going to touch this bit yet, because this join, it looks fine. So all I can imagine then is that day that I saw the water coming out, it was flowing over the back of the gutter because there was too much water coming in, which I'll discuss that in a second. But what I'm going to do instead is leave all of this assembly, and then down where that join is, where it's the house meets the post, that's where I'll start the PVC. Unfortunately, with this ladder being too short, I just don't feel safe getting up there trying to cut the pipe, and I'm starting to question whether it is actually a problem up there. I mean, I eventually want this whole thing to be PVC because that'll look so much better, but I reckon if I just join the PVC here at this corner, it's not going to look too bad. And then eventually when I get myself a long enough ladder, then I can get up there and attack that. But I think that should be right. I suspect that this might have been the culprit. This is what they call gutter guard here in Australia. I'm not sure if it's the same around the world. And while I understand its purpose in theory, in principle, I do not believe that this stuff is the right way to go. The only way to take care of your gutters is to clean them out once a year. Because what I've noticed on this house, and I've seen this before, while yes, the leaves don't get into this, it does stop the leaves from getting in. All the dirt and dust and grit does get through. So all you do is you end up with this sludge underneath, which just shrinks the size of your gutter. So really, while this is keeping the leaves out, it's not keeping everything out, and it's impossible to keep everything out just by the nature of the whole design of the way a gutter is supposed to function. So I've been pulling these out of this gutter because, yeah, as I say, I think they don't do what they're intended to. And the best way to clean your gutters is just to get up there with the ladder and clean them out. Now this join I'm going to be able to reuse when I eventually do the rest of the pipe. So what I'm not going to glue it together for now. I'm just going to let it run, just push together, because it's a pretty firm fit. And that way you can see that this is being held in by the pressure of that pipe pushing against it. This pipe, I'll just run it down and have it sit on the concrete there, and that way I can just put it in temporarily, make sure everything works properly, and then when I'm eventually ready, then glue it all together. What's going on? Well, that's pretty much it done. You can see it comes down. I might need to chock it up underneath there just because it is still loose, and I don't want to be attaching it to the post yet. You can see there how some of the concrete's come out from the last one. I'm going to have to fix that. But anyway, so I'll chock that up, and then because I haven't glued anything, what I can do then is plug on a long piece of 90mm pipe and run that up into the yard. The long-term goal is for this to all run down there to that end of the house and then up and out to the street. So that's the long-term goal. But because there's so many things that need to happen before that, I can't really finalize this. So for now, this is going to have to do, and it'll be fine. I mean, if you stand back and look at it, it's actually not even that bad. I was worried this was going to be very obnoxious, but it's not. So this will work for now. I'll get that chocked up, get some pipe in there to divert the water wherever I need it to go, and I'm pretty much going to call that done. And next on the list is this guy here. Probably see the problem there. The steel is rusting, so I imagine what's happening is that's just passed that rust over onto this steel gutter, and now this has happened. So I need to clean this out, and then I think I'm just going to squeeze some silicone over that, and that should be enough. There's a small downpipe over there that's not even being used, so I want to try and direct the water back to that. Alright, she's free. Stick it down. Silicone seems to be holding pretty well, so I reckon that's going to be more than enough to hold this. I've just got to try and clean this gutter out. Well, I'm pretty happy that job is taken, well, mostly taken care of. I need to still obviously get the pipe all the way up to the roof, and I guess long term I need to change all these gutters out, because technically they aren't code, but more importantly they're not big enough. They can't cope with all the water that we get in our serious rain season. So I've just got one more job left for today, and then I'm done outside.